Welcome to JAR Families, Session 3, Businesses All Around the Neighborhood. For this lesson, you will need the following materials: your volunteer guidebook, the student table tents, the junior journal packets, and be prepared to access the digital presentation for this session found at learn.ja.org. You can work with your classroom teacher to determine whether you or the teacher will be responsible for pulling up the digital presentation each time you visit the classroom. We recommend asking the teacher to have the presentation ready for you if possible. To aid in preparation and facilitation, you'll see in the guidebook blue text boxes, which contain JA of South Dakota's session-specific teaching tips, and yellow text boxes that include vocabulary terms and presentation content that's not already in the guidebook. Greet students and tell them that in Session 3, Businesses All Around the Neighborhood, they will be learning about goods and services that businesses provide for families. The next slideshow shows a picture of the junior journal packet. You will need this later on in the lesson. I recommend handing out the junior journal packet later on so that students do not become distracted by their packet. Ask students to recall what they learned about the last time you visited. Prompt them to share their definition of business with the class. Ask students to recall the meaning of wants and need, or share examples of each of those vocabulary terms with the class. If possible, I recommend having students move to a spot on the floor that is close to the screen with the presentation on it. Many classrooms already have assigned seating for the students on the floor. The next slide showcases this session's vocabulary terms. This slide is interactive and provides an opportunity for students to come up and select each vocabulary card to reveal the definition. I recommend asking students to think about how they would define each of the terms before revealing the definition. To get more students engaged with this part of the lesson, you may consider asking students to think about the word and what they know about it, and then ask them to share with a shoulder partner before calling on a student to share with the entire class and revealing the answer. This works especially well if your classroom does not have an interactive screen available. In that case, you or the teacher would have to click to reveal the definition of the word. Some classroom teachers might also have a system to help randomly and fairly call on students, such as popsicle sticks, that you might be able to utilize as well during your time in the classroom. Now, the word entrepreneur is a rather difficult word for first graders, and they might not be able to guess the definition of the word based on just giving them the word entrepreneur. You might want to prompt students by reminding them that they're learning about businesses and have them look at the screen to see the image on the vocabulary card and see if they can make an educated guess based off of the picture. Once you reveal the definition to the students, let them know some synonyms for the word entrepreneur, such as business owner or business person, etc. If you have entrepreneurial experience or know someone in your community who does, this would be a great time to share it here. The next slide also has vocabulary words, and these have to do with elements of a map. While talking about maps, consider showing an app that you can use on your cell phone, whether that's Google Maps or Apple Maps. You could also consider showing them an atlas or a paper road map. Talk about how people were able to locate specific places before technology was widely available. On the next slide, for the Map Explorer activity, you will ask students to describe what they see on the screen. Click on each of the symbols on the map to make the symbol large and ask students to guess what the symbol represents based on the image. Have students name a business in their community for each symbol. Remember, let students know that the map has a key that lets them know what each symbol represents that's found at the bottom of the screen. From here, you'll introduce an additional 2 vocabulary words, goods and services. You may consider giving some examples of each of these for students to connect to. Next, you will revisit the community map and look at businesses the students explored earlier to find out which ones offer goods and which ones offer services. As you discuss the map, symbols, and corresponding businesses, refer to names of local businesses where students may fulfill their needs and wants. On the next slide, you can do the same thing, but this just gives you a few more options to click on. So you can have students guess what the business is, and then click on it to reveal and see if any of the students know the names of a local business that provides that good or service. From here, you will review the lesson with students and tell them that they will be learning about businesses that provide jobs for families in the next lesson. If time allows, have students complete the goods and services junior journal. You may have to help students complete the sentences about a veterinarian and a teacher. Consider writing a simple sentence on the board for students to copy as needed. If there's not time at the end of the lesson, you can have students complete this activity when they take their junior journals home after the 5th lesson, or when they have extra time in class. Remember, either you or the teacher should collect the junior journals and name tags at the end of every lesson, since it will be needed for the following sessions.